that Genghis Khan operation actually gave India an opportunity to launch full-fledged war against Pakistan.
ईस्ट पाकिस्तान में उन्होंने सर्च लाइट ऑपरेशन सर्च लाइट शुरू किया था। In 1971 में उन्होंने रफली 1 मिलियन बंगालीज को मार दिया।
As the war progressed, sir, and you started inching inside Bangladesh, sir, on which date, like 16th was the final, of course.
So everybody had a briefing. As soon as they land, hand over the helicopter to the engineers, run to the toilet, run to the food, and go to sleep. And even if it's 10 minutes sleep, that is all we were
Rest
getting.
and recuperation for whatever little time.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we were doing. 10 minutes, 15 minutes sleep, everybody was getting.
Yeah.
Suddenly we heard this noise, put, bullets going right through the helicopter. One of the bullets hit the pilot. He was injured on his shoulder.
नमस्कार साथियों, आज़ाद भारत के आर्म फोर्सेस के इतिहास में आज का दिन अत्यंत ही महत्वपूर्ण दिवस है। दिस वेरी डे ऑन 16 दिसंबर 1971, Indian Armed Forces achieved their biggest milestone, wherein almost about 93,000 Pakistani troops surrendered, along with their General Niazi in Dhaka to our General J.S. Arora. This is, in the recorded history, the largest ever surrendered by any army in the world. और इसकी महत्ता, इसकी इम्पोर्टेंस आप इस बात से समझ सकते हैं कि ये इवेंट सिर्फ एक दो फौज के बीच की लड़ाई नहीं थी कि जिसमें एक की हार हुई और भारत की जीत। बस इसके साथ साथ एक और महत्वपूर्ण घटना हुई जिसमें बांग्लादेश का जन्म हुआ। A new country was born, that is Dhaka. Therefore, this day becomes extremely important not only for India but also as far as Bangladesh is concerned. And it has got special significance for the Indian Armed Forces, which achieved its ever greatest glory. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have 71 war veteran, Squadron Leader Pushp Vaid, ex-flight commander 110HU Kumbigram, who is with us this very day. And it makes special day for us wherein he would be able to throw his personal experiences regarding the 71 ops. And in next about 20 to 30 minutes, we'll ask him questions with respect to the entire operations of Vijay Diwas and how it started, how it went on, and then 13-day swift war where India achieved such glories. We will talk to him in person. Let me welcome Scholar Pushp, sir.
Namaskar.
Thanks for coming over to ICPRD today and giving us an opportunity to speak in person regarding your experiences of 71 war.
Thank you.
So, the whole world knows that 71 war started with the operations Genghis Khan, wherein Pakistan launched swift airstrike on our bases starting from Srinagar, Amritsar, Pathankot, Agra. Thereby, they wanted to create a situation where our air superiority was to be neutralized to a great extent. And therefore, they could push their army operations in Bangladesh. However, it actually backfired. Why I say so? Because we suffered minimal losses in that attack, whereby our Air Force was to could counterattack in a big way and cripple them to a great extent where they could be of no major help to their troops in Bangladesh. Now that Genghis Khan operation actually gave India an opportunity to launch full-fledged war against Pakistan, because India had suffered a lot of humanitarian issues by having almost 10 million Bangladeshi refugees in our country, and the widespread atrocities which was happening in Bangladesh resulting into these refugees in our country. You being the prime witness there, sir, would you like to throw some light on the background, what led to this situation? and led to the war, sir? We'd like to hear it from you, sir.
बांग्लादेश में उन्होंने ईस्ट पाकिस्तान में उन्होंने सर्च लाइट ऑपरेशन सर्च लाइट शुरू किया था. आइडिया वाज कि सप्रेस बंगालीज. एंड एक साल में 1971 में उन्होंने रफली 1 मिलियन बंगालीज को मार दिया. Roughly 10 million Bengalis India आ गए as refugees, Tripura में, Assam में, Bengal में.
Correct.
And every woman virtually they got hold of and उनको rape किया. That was the order of General Yahya Khan कि Bengalis को खत्म करना है यहाँ से. बिल्कुल. That was the aim.
True.
And so our Prime Minister Indira Gandhi had gone to UN, had gone to UK, gone to America, सबको help करने के लिए, but nobody was willing to help.
Yes.
The only country who signed up with us was the Russians, who have always been helpful to us ever since 1947.
Absolutely.
And that was wonderful. And then she had requested General, हमारा chief था जो, कि लड़ाई शुरू करनी है जल्दी. But इन्होंने बोला कि because monsoons are coming.
Manik Shah, sir.
Yeah, Manik Shah. General Manik Shah ने बोला कि monsoons are coming. We will fight after the monsoons.
Absolutely.
Which is a wonderful thing because that gave us time to prepare for the war.
Absolutely.
So from April onwards हमको मालूम था लड़ाई होने वाली है.
Sir.
But we were all preparing, getting ready, getting arms, ammunition, spares, whatever we needed, and our helicopters कि जल्दी मेंटेनेंस करा रहे थे.
So that from military perspective, it is very important to understand the topography, the kind of weather effects and all that. And therefore, General Manik Shah was very right in requesting the Prime Minister to delay the operations.
And so we were getting ready and हमारे को special instructions पे आए थे कि low level flying सीखो, बचाओ सिखाओ सबको, और night flying, बहुत सारी नाइट फ्लाइंग करो, लॉट ऑफ द ऑपरेशन विल बी एट नाइट. एंड हम लोगों ने बहुत ट्रेनिंग करी सितंबर, अक्टूबर, नवंबर टाइम में, स्पेशली अक्टूबर नवंबर टाइम में. एंड सो ऑल माय पायलट्स वर रेडी फॉर द ऑपरेशन बाय दैट टाइम द वॉर केम इनटू बीइंग. So that, and the war was started by, as you said, by Pakistan, and we were ready for it. So as soon as the war started, we were ready to start operating from our side.
Prelude to the actually getting into the operation, sir, like as I said, the Operation Chinggis Khan was their airstrike on Indian bases. Operation Searchlight was their atrocities against the Bangladeshis in Bangladesh. Now, you, as you said very correctly, that you were getting hints, you were seeing the evolving situation, and you were preparing for it, sir. How and in which way did you find that the Indian Army, because it had to reposition itself, move troops as for the requirement of the different, as for the plan, operational plan. So, would you like to throw some light on the operational planning and integration between the Army and the Indian Air Force in totality along the Bangladesh?
No, see, my main job was helicopters. Absolutely. So I can tell you more about my operation. But from what I could see around me, Army, Navy, Air Force, सब तैयारी कर रहे थे. Arms, ammunition, they were getting closer to the
basically your first-hand experience, because you saw all those.
Because they were getting everything closer to them, So, and even hospitals were being set up, advanced hospitals were being set up, plans were made. कोई major problem होगी तो they'll be brought to Agartala or Kumbhikram, and from there they'll be evacuated to whichever big hospital they want to go. All these things were being laid down. Procedures were being laid down. So people were ready. Absolutely. कि war आ रही है, and arm ammunition कैसे पहुंचेगा, कहाँ पहुंचेगा, all that was being planned by the Air Force, by the Army, and of course Navy as well was getting ready on Chittagong area,
Yes. So, looking at the topography of Bangladesh, sir, I mean, it's a riverine country, full of rivulets, and therefore, at that point in time, the decision of the our services to involve helicopters, I think it was a path-breaking decision, because the bridging operation which helicopter could bring in, and with the speed which the troops could get via the helicopters, was a very, I think, path-breaking decision. And towards that, I think force that were with us at that point in time, and you were the flight commander of that unit. I think that was a very, very far-reaching decision, and would like to hear your word on that before operations.
It was only General Sagat Singh's idea.
Okay, sir.
उनका विजन था.
Yes, sir.
None of the other generals asked for helicopters like Sagat Singh did.
Okay.
Sagat Singh ने तो सारा यूनिट रिक्वेस्ट किया आर्मी से और एयरफोर्स से कि हमारे को एक यूनिट दे दो.
Great.
तो हमारा 110 HU became part of 4 Corps during the operation. So when the war started, हम लोग तेलीमारा आ गए थे, where FOCO was based.
So it moved from Tezpur to Telimara.
From Kumbigram. From Kumbigram to Telimara.
And the 4 corps I am saying.
FOCO had already moved to
Tezpur.
Telimara much
Yes.
before.
Okay, sir.
Because Tezpur is too far away for
Yes.
when the war is in East Pakistan.
Yes.
और सारा इनको ईस्टर्न बॉर्डर मेंटेन करना था. And original plan given to Sagat Singh was कि आप लोग सिर्फ मेघना तक जाओगे.
Sir.
That is all. You
Oh.
make sure up to Meghna. You look after up to Meghna.
So
Don't cross
you are
Meghna.
basically making a point that initial plan of the government of India was not to
Yeah, Manekshaw as
effect a
well
government
and
change.
Arora as well told Sagat Singh कि आप मेघना cross नहीं करोगे.
Oh, that's a very important
Yeah,
point.
but
bringing
you
out.
see, Sagat Singh had already told them, if I find an opportunity, I will take it.
Great, sir. I
Yeah.
think that
And
man's
that is
vision.
what he was always thinking. He was always thinking two steps ahead.
Okay.
And in my view, I must say that right from the beginning, it's only because Sagat Singh, Bangladesh came into being.
Oh, wonderful, sir.
And-
I mean,
and-
that's a
and-
great
and-
point you are making, sir.
Yeah, and Sagat Singh was the only gentleman who had the vision. अगर हम ढाका पहुंच जाएंगे तो we'll get the country.
Wonderful.
And neither government of India nor Manekshaw nor General Arora wanted us to go to Dhaka. It was not in the plan, original plan at all.
Okay, sir.
And even Sagat Singh had kept it to himself.
Oh.
He said कि मैं जाना है. Occasionally he used to tell them मैंने Dhaka पहुंच जाना है. But officially he had not told anybody. You know.
So that man actually visualized what all possibilities are there, and
Hanji.
why not make best use of that possibility, sir? So
बिल्कुल,
that way, I think
बिल्कुल.
there's a real point that you're bringing out,
Yeah.
which is not in the general knowledge of the most of the people.
Yeah. No, see, Sagat Singh was told only go up to Meghna. That's it.
Oh,
Nothing else.
sir.
And they never thought he'll have the strength to cross the river,
Okay.
or the boats, or the crafts of any kind.
Okay, sir.
So he said, let me. Once he had the helicopters,
Yes.
we were originally on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 4 din, we were doing the normal helicopter operation, casualty evacuation, dropping troops and
Sir.
IAMs and ammunition and food and everything,
Sure.
and taking any of the COs or brigadiers or generals wherever they wanted to go, communication flights. On the 6th evening, we got a message कि हमको Sylhet जाना है. We're going to take one battalion to Sylhet.
Sir.
And idea is that Sylhet garrison, Pakistani garrison, has to be blocked so that they don't move out from there.
Okay, sir.
He didn't want anybody to reinforce Dhaka.
Okay.
So Sagat Singh was already planning on the 6th evening
So,
how he's going to get to Dhaka. So he wanted to make sure nobody else gets to Dhaka.
okay,
He
sir.
gets there before any other Pakistan army can move to Dhaka.
Oh.
So 4-5 Gurkha was told that you guys are going to go to Sylhet on 7th of
Okay.
December.
Okay, sir.
And our helicopters are told, आप 8 helicopter लेके जाओ, go to a place called Kalashar, which
Sir.
we made into a base.
Kalashar, yes, sir.
Kalashar, we had fuel, we had engineers and everything. Only one little hut was there. We all piled into that hut. It was an air traffic control, but non-functional. It was not functioning.
Yes, sir.
And from there, we went to a place called Kalora, from where 4-5 Gurkhas were, about 10 miles inside East Pakistan.
Sir.
And from there, we were going to go to Sylhet on 7th afternoon.
Okay, sir.
So that is the operation. So we moved 7 helicopters. We kept 1 helicopter as casualty evacuation. We always had 1 helicopter for
Yes.
casualty. And 7 helicopters we took to Kalora to start our operation to Sylhet.
Okay, sir. Why all these operations was progressing slowly but surely towards the final target that the commanders would have set at that point in time? Any particular incident you can recollect where you felt that the going was proving to be a little tough?
No, I think our training had helped a lot. You know,
Okay.
we had done a lot of training, 2 months.
That's the importance of the
Yeah,
training.
very, very important.
You can never undermine
All
that.
my pilots had been done night training also. They had also got categories,
Okay.
for night training, night flying categories had been given to them.
Sir.
So all my pilots are operational.
Okay, sir.
So, and I think that made a huge difference to us
Absolutely, absolutely.
during the
Without
the
training,
battle.
any machine
Yeah,
or man is
and
useless.
and we could almost do automatic
Absolutely.
flying, because we'd done so much training.
Absolutely.
So when 7th afternoon came and the 4-5 Gurkha started arriving,
Sir.
we made sure only 1 helicopter went at a time and landed in enemy territory. We didn't want a bigger target.
Sir.
एक एक करके हम गए 3-4 minute का gap करके, but we need helicopter. So I was number 1, then number 2, number 3, like that. So हम लोग गए 12, 13, 14 passengers and their equipment. We were dropping and coming back. By the time 4th or 5th helicopter went, Pakistan army was firing at us from every direction.
Oh, absolutely.
But luckily, we were out of range. We could see the bullets coming, but they were not reaching us,
Okay.
And our army, Colonel Hurulkar, who's in charge of 4-5 Gurkhas, he spread out the troops nicely to give an impression that a much bigger force has landed.
Yes, absolutely.
And Pakistanis didn't know how many people we were bringing.
Yeah, and which all directions they are coming, basically.
Yeah, and we were landing every 3-4 minutes. So they had no idea how many people we had dropped.
Basically confuse them on the ground. Basically.
And we had, our helicopter had fuel for 3 trips each.
Oh.
So by the time I went the second time, the number of bullets was huge.
Okay.
By the time I went the third time, the amount of bullets were coming from everywhere.
Oh.
But as I said, our army had arranged Gurkhas to spread out nicely so that the helipad was secure,
Okay.
Not only helipad, but bigger area around helipad was secure. And he had briefed them in such a lovely manner कि आप fire करो, अब आप fire करो, अब आप fire करो, give an impression that we had a much bigger force.
Sir.
And in the meantime, BBC also announced we dropped a brigade at Sylhet.
Okay, sir.
Brigade is 2,000-3,000 people,
Absolutely.
and we only dropped 250 people.
No.
So by the time we came back and we went to Kalasha to get more fuel and everything, it was dark, already dark.
Absolutely.
6 o'clock. So हम लोग ने fuel वगैरह भरा, सब कुछ तैयार हो गए हम लोग. And the engineers said everything is okay. So I went and told Group Captain Chandan Singh, who was in charge of the Air Force operation, we are ready. And Group Captain Chandan Singh had been flying in a little alouette on top and watching when we were operating. So if I could see 100 bullets, he could see thousands.
Basically FSC role.
He could see the whole thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but he could see the whole number of... So it was more scary for him than for us.
Absolutely. He was an altitude, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, we came and he said, "नहीं, रात को नहीं जाएंगे. It's too dark. It's too dangerous. You guys are too low and you're too slow. Anybody can shoot it down." Which is true. Any helicopter can be shot down very easily. No problem at all. So I said, "Okay, sir, we'll wait for your decision." So I told all my pilots, because we were working 24/7. I told all my pilots, go to sleep. Everybody is sleeping. I also went to sleep. And this is about 7 o'clock in the evening.
Right.
So about 11ish, I was woken up and the Chandan Singh wants to see you. I went to see him and he said, "Get one helicopter ready."
Okay, sir.
He and Group Capt and Brigadier Quinn had been talking.
Yes.
And his contention was, if I send a helicopter, it gets shot down, I lose the pilots, I lose the aircraft, I lose the passengers.
Very true. Very
what do we gain?
practical.
And he was saying, you only dropped 250 soldiers. Those 250 soldiers don't even have a radio there. No. So we have no contact with them. Oh. And the reason they don't have a radio is because they didn't plan who's going to go first, who's going to go second. They thought we'll just keep going till everything is delivered.
Absolutely.
So they had no radio. So we had no contact with them.
Yes.
So, and the 250 soldiers had only enough food and ammunition for one night.
Okay.
They didn't have a lot of food or a lot of ammunition.
And so much of catering was not there.
Yeah, no, it was not planned because it was going to go later.
Absolutely.
It was going to go. Originally, our aim was to get the 4-5 Gurkhas there,
Yes.
So anyway, they had a big powwow for 4 hours.
Okay.
And then they asked General Sagar Singh as well. They said, "Ek bhej dete hain. Let's see what happens."
Sir.
So I said, "I'll go myself." And I came to the crew room and everybody sleeping. I said, "I need a volunteer." everybody put their hand up.
Okay.
Which is quite amazing because everybody's seen the bullets.
Very true.
So I picked up Flying Officer Kant Reddy and then chap
That's
called...
really commendable, sir.
It was
that
commendable.
kind of a emergency
Josh
situation, that kind of a Josh for the nation.
Bilkul.
Still,
And all and Flying Warrant Officer Bindra was with us, and he came as a flight engineer. Pilots stayed in the cockpit. Me4 cockpit is high.
To minimize the time on ground.
Yeah. Idea was not to get out. If you get out, you're wasting time.
Absolutely.
We had no time, basically. And Bindra's job was to look after passengers and the load. So we loaded up all the essential things, all the radio, all the food, more ammunition, whatever, and more troops. And we set off at 12:30 at night on the 8th. And दिन में तो I knew where the helipad was.
Yes.
रात में how I'm going to find, मेरे को मालूम था एक river है वहाँ पे सुरमा, उसके 1 किलोमीटर बाद में होगा. So anyway, I had a fairly good idea.
And operating with a vintage helicopter of Me4.
Just one magnetic compass we had. No GPS those days.
Nothing, absolutely nothing on board.
So I set course, and suddenly about 5 minutes later, I got a call on the radio. About time you guys came. What took you so long? This is Flying Officer Sharma. He was the advanced controller with them. Air Force guy had gone with the army.
Yes, sir.
So I was so happy to hear his voice. I said, "What is the situation like on the ground?" He says, "Very quiet. Sab so rahe hain. 12:30 ka time hai. I'll light a fire for you." So he lit a fire for me. So I knew where to land. So I went straight for it, and I briefed my passengers कि as soon as I land करूँ सब निकलो, and I'll get airborne in 30 seconds.
Minimum time on ground.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. We went straight in, we landed, and everybody jumped out, and we got airborne.
True.
When we were going in, itni bullets aa rahi thi, हजारों bullets aa rahi
Oh
thi.
my God.
And so when we got airborne, मैंने फ्लाइट इंजीनियर को बोला यार जाके लाइट लूट ऑन करो, टॉर्च करो, देखो कितने bullets लगी हैं हमको. He went around with everywhere, but after 2 minutes he came back with a big smile. Sir, एक भी नहीं लगी हमको. Not one bullet has hit us. I was absolutely
Providential escape.
I was flabbergasted.
Okay.
I said the only reason nothing has hit us is because Pakistanis cannot see us.
Yes.
They're just firing at the noise.
Blind fires.
Yeah, at the noise.
Noise.
So I rang up base on the radio. I said, come on guys, these people don't know how to fire. We're all going in.
Yes.
So they all started getting ready. I had fuel for 3 trips. So I picked up a next load, went running back, dropped my next load. Again, I got airborne. Again, without any bullet holes. Came back, picked up my third load, went running back, dropped my third load. Got airborne this time. My fuel gauge was showing 0. My engine was running. My tank, my rotors are running. So obviously I had fuel.
Yes.
So I said, मेरा gauge में कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया. And we were praying to whoever's up there, take us back home. So we got back home. And they opened the panel. One bullet had come through the engine, hit the cable to the fuel gauge, and broke. And the bullet was sitting there,
Okay.
4 feet from me. It could have carried on to me,
Yes.
but it stopped there.
Because it's right in front of you.
Bilkul.
Yes.
It stopped there. Anyway, so they changed the cable. They put fuel in my helicopter also. 4 helicopter already started operating, and I joined them. So we were going round and round whole night. Next day, 9th morning, हमने 800 soldiers drop कर दिए. उनका ammunition, we took artillery guns also. And we needed more arms and ammunition, which group captain arranged from Caribou to come and drop them.
Okay, sir.
So they dropped more arms and ammunition for the. So by 9th afternoon, everything was already in 4-5 Gurkhas. Okay. And after a week, they took surrender of 6,000 soldiers. 800 people took surrender of 6,000 soldiers.
That's really commendable, sir.
Yeah, because Dhaka had surrendered, so everybody else was told to surrender.
That you're saying around 16th of.
Yeah.
Sir, as I will come to that, sir. As the war progressed, sir, and looking at the composition of the different units, could you just list out which all other helicopter units?
Yeah, 110 तो पूरा unit था वहाँ पे. We had 8 helicopters. Then 4 came from 105, which is in Chabua.
That's
so that made it
later on moved to Gorakhpur, sir.
Yeah,
from
correct.
Chabua to
correct. So they became 12, and then on the 10th we asked for 2 more, and Hashimara sent us 2 more. Okay. So on the 10th of December we had 14 helicopters.
Achha. All under your command, sir.
I was the flight commander, so I was running the show.
Yes, sir. Very nicely, very descriptively given, sir. The details how you moved on. As the war progressed, sir, and you started inching inside Bangladesh, sir. On which date, like 16th was the final, of course.
Yeah, but I'll give you more stories.
Yes.
We came back to Agartala. Okay. Standard briefing was Agartala was our base.
Yes.
Fuel was there, engineers were there, toilet was there, food was there.
Everything.
So everybody had a briefing. As soon as you land, hand over the helicopter to the engineers, run to the toilet, run to the food, and go to sleep.
Okay.
Standard. And even if it's 10 minutes sleep, that is all we were getting.
Rest and recuperation for whatever little time you have. Yes.
And that's exactly what we were doing. 10 minutes, 15 minutes sleep, everybody was getting.
Yes.
And as soon as the helicopter was ready, somebody will come and wake you. Hey, your helicopter is ready, go. And
so that TRS time was quickly used for rest.
Correct.
And then get back.
And toilet and food. Yes. That is the only place we had. No other place we had food and toilet and rest. So I'd also, when we reached on 9:30, I'd gone to sleep at Agartala. Sure. About 10:30, I was woken up. Okay, Sagat Singh wants to see you. So I went there. He was sitting in an Alvet, 2 pilots and Sagat Singh, myself, my CO at the back, and 1 brigadier. He said, I'll show you where we go next. Sure. He was so impressed with the way we had operated in Sylhet without any hitches. Delivered 800 soldiers in 36 hours. So he said, I'll show you the next place. In the meantime, Coronation Bridge, one and only bridge over the river Meghna, was blown up by the Pakistanis.
Yes.
So he was not even bothered about the bridge.
Yes.
He says, ab to mere paas helicopter hai. What do I need bridge
absolutely.
for? So we took off. He showed us the area we wanted us to land that afternoon, Raipura. And on the way back, he said, this is all Indian territory, you can go down. So we went down to 1,000 feet. Suddenly we heard this noise, foot, bullets going right through the helicopter. One of the bullets hit the pilot. He was injured on his shoulder. Second bullet went across the forehead of Sagat Singh, just across here.
Oh my God.
And anyway, the co-pilot took over, climbed away from there, and we came back and landed. And I got out and I started planning my afternoon trip, arranging the helicopters, arranging the crew and everything. Sure. And later on, I came to know that helicopter had 38 bullet
Oh
holes.
my God.
19 bullets went through that helicopter. Only one person was injured, and Sagat Singh had his little this thing here. कहाँ बुलेट
Missed by whiskers.
कहाँ से बुलेट निकले कहाँ से गए भगवान was watching us.
God is
for sure.
great.
You know. So anyway, 4 o'clock हम लोग तैयार होके we went to Brahmabari, and then we started operating across to Raipura. 8 helicopters लेके गए.
Luck favors the brave, sir. I think that is what.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
8 helicopters, we flew whole night, whole day, next day, 36 hours again, 1,000 plus soldiers, हम रायपुरा छोड़ के आ गए.
Wonderful.
Again, we came back to Agartala to sleep, everybody sleeping, and Sagat Singh said, I'll show you the next one.
Yes.
So he showed us Nara Singhi,
Yes.
which is further closer to
Yes.
Dhaka.
Dhaka.
So we did that for the next 2 days, 11th, 12th of
Yes.
December.
Yes.
And then once we finished that, he said, I got one more place to go, Badya Bazar, which is only about 10 kilometers
From Dhaka.
from Dhaka. So we did that. So total.
So how literally, actually, you have been inching day by day closer to Dhaka.
Yeah,
Yes.
and nearly 5,000 soldiers.
Yes.
We lifted in 10
Yes.
days.
Oh, great.
And 680 tons of equipment we lifted.
Wonderful, sir.
And working 24/7. I did 94 flights myself.
Yes.
All my pilots did similar number of flights.
Yes. I can
94 flights in 10 days is huge
understand.
number,
It's
you know.
huge, huge.
And but you were flying all the time, you know. 10 minutes हो गए, 15 minutes हो गए, and not one pilot was saying कि मेरा पेट दर्द हो रहा है, मेरा भूख लग रही है, I'm tired, or nothing like that. Everybody, जोश was there, you know.
सर जब ये आप बढ़ रहे थे
हाँ.
धीरे धीरे आगे, तो कब आपको ऐसा लगा कि हमारा टारगेट ये मेघना ही नहीं है जो पहले आपको अंदाजा था, और कब लगा कि नहीं अब मेघना नहीं, अब हमें ढाका तक पहुंचना है?
नहीं, see, Meghna and all that is between Sagat Singh and Aurora, nothing to do with
But
us.
on ground, your
Yeah,
appreciation
nobody had told us कि मेघना उनका. This is I came to know later.
later on, absolutely.
हमको मालूम नहीं था, हमको तो जो भी Sagat Singh बोल रहा था, फोको बोल रहा था, हम ही बोल रही थी.
Sir.
We were doing it.
Yes, sir.
So we are not worried about Sagat
Sir.
कि मेघना पहुंच गए कि नहीं पहुंच गए. And that is an arbitrary number anyway. What difference does it make? भाई,
Absolutely.
helicopters can take you wherever you want to go.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes, yes, absolutely.
and they use them. And
Yes.
and very basic best part is my engineers were magicians. They kept every helicopter flying.
Yeah, I know, sir. That-
Not a single accident.
Oh.
Absolutely the most amazing thing. The youngest pilot I had was 19 and a half.
Yes.
I was the oldest. I was 30, you know.
Yes, yes.
And yesterday my 24-25 साल की उम्र.
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, that speaks volumes about their professionalism.
Training and training.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And not a single accident, and every helicopter kept flying, and we didn't have weighing scale, we didn't have manifest, we didn't write anybody's name, we didn't weigh
You can
anybody.
understand, sir,
There was no
that-
time. We had no ropes, we had no nets. Everybody was loaded up like a truck, and everybody is told to sit on top.
I understand.
And that's what we were doing.
No, sir, I think that kind of operation that you all did, sir, I mean, literally moving bridge, as it is called, helicopters, I think Army would have realized and appreciated the kind of the mobility it provided
Bilkul,
to the troops.
bilkul, absolutely.
Is commendable. Yes, that is the operations part of it, sir. Now, with your first-hand experience, would like to know something from you regarding the what you felt about the entire operations being managed by the that time Army Chief Manik Shaw or the Corps Commander Sagat Singh, sir. A word regarding both of them as a big.
No,
campaign.
see, the plan Manik Shaw had and government of India had was right in the sense that we didn't have big enough army to take over whole of East Pakistan.
Absolutely, sir.
So they never thought we'll able to take it. So they didn't plan it like that. They said we'll take half.
Parts of it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But Sagat Singh was the only gentleman who had the vision. If I grab Daga, everything is mine.
And not to say that I would like to undermine anybody else's role as
No, I'm not
that
undermining
no,
anybody.
I'm just saying, sir.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that by making this statement, it's a very important, a very less known fact that the main role players that time, Manik Shaw or our Honorable Prime Minister late Mr. Indira Gandhi, now as you are saying that the role played by General Sagat Singh in actually turning, I would say, a limited scale war to force the Pakistanis in terms of bringing in the order in East Pakistan. That the initial plan did not appear to be so that to take over entire Bangladesh.
Yeah.
But this late General Sagat Singh, with his vision, planning, and on-ground operations, he could achieve something which was not. So I think it is for the countrymen to know that what General Sagat Singh actually planned executed and achieved for the nation.
Yeah.
I mean, it needs to be known and appreciated.
I think 100%. I keep shouting again and again. If there was no General Singh, there would have been no Bangladesh.
Yes, sir.
Because, as I said, original plan was take half of East Pakistan. If I had taken half of East Pakistan, the rest of it would have been with Pakistan.
Yes.
What a mess that would have been. It would have been worse than P and K.
Yes,
You know. So Sagat Singh had the vision. He says, if I get to Dhaka, and since Dhaka was not being defended by any army because they didn't think we'll reach Dhaka.
Yes.
Because of the rivers.
I know. Sir.
The only thing
Full
which
of
is
rivers all around.
Only thing which is saving Dhaka was rivers. And Niazi and Yahya Khan and everybody never thought we will never get there.
Yes, natural obstacles.
Yeah.
In the form of water.
And he says their main aim was somehow to get ceasefire.
Yes.
Quickly from UN.
Yes.
And if you had ceasefire, that means Indian Army has to leave, Indian Air Force has to leave, Indian Navy has to leave.
So it had to be a swift war.
It has to be swift war before the ceasefire came into being.
Yes.
And the only way of getting ceasefire was to get to Dhaka.
Yes, absolutely.
And 13 days before UN woke up to the fact that the war is going on, and they could make the resolutions and make
binding on all the parties
and forcing Bharat to stop fighting.
Yes, sir.
We were already there.
Absolutely. I think that's a great feat, sir. And as you were saying, the shortness of the war was so important कि outside agency like UN और superpowers जो थे उस वक्त अमेरिका, रशिया, वो इंडिया को ना प्रेशराइज करें कि भाई तुम होल्ड करो इसलिए इस वॉर को स्विफ्ट बनाना बहुत जरूरी था टू मेक इट रिजल्ट ओरिएंटेड और उस स्विफ्टनेस के लिए हेलीकॉप्टर का ऑपरेशन आई थिंक कंट्रीब्यूशन
I think helicopters were one of the main reasons. Of course, fighters did wonders.
I know.
No doubt about it.
Everybody played its role.
Playing havoc into the governor's house.
Yes.
The fighter went and attacked right at the exact time when the governor meeting was taking place. Or the transport people who did the Tangel drop. Hats off to them.
Tremendous psychological.
AN-12s and the packets and the caribous and the Dakotas all flying at the same time, arriving at the same time, dropping 800 soldiers. Wow, hats off to them, and of course Navy played havoc into Chittagong and all the blockage they made for the other end. Everybody played their role, but the main thing was we delivered the soldiers on the Dhaka.
Holding on ground is what is important.
And we sent a message to Niazi, our soldiers are here. Either you surrender, you die. Because if we let the Bengalis in, they would have killed them.
Absolutely.
We didn't have to kill anybody.
As a reaction to the atrocities they had suffered.
We didn't have to kill anybody.
Yes.
Bengalis themselves would have killed them.
Actually.
And so he had the wisdom to realize.
In a way, actually, you saved Pakistanis also being butchered by Bangladeshis.
Bilkul. And in 13 days, we delivered what we delivered.
Yes.
Literally working 24/7. As I said, 94 flights I did myself, and all my pilots did similar number of flights. 90 to sabne kara hoga, minimum. And I made sure everybody got an odd day off with to be the ops manager for the day. Their job was ops manager.
So somehow to give them some rest.
Yes, some rest. Our idea of ops manager was to take all the messages coming in and keep a note of them and see what flights are.
For an air crew to get that required rest is
very important. Very important.
That is how he performs in the next sorties.
Bilkul.
Sir, now you like your adjectives you have written in detail in your book, which you recently released, and it was presented to our Air Force Chief, as well as the Bangladeshi Prime Minister in Dhaka, that ceremony last year that you did. The whole operations, you have very well brought it out for our next generation, the future of the Indian Air Force pilots, helicopter pilots in particular, to understand the versatility of the helicopter operations, and in totality for the armed forces to understand the application of helicopters in war scenario. Coming to the human part of it, sir, like while you operating, flying into Bangladesh at different stages, you must have interacted with Bangladeshi people and especially Mukti Bani. Any impression?
Wherever we landed, they were there helping us.
Oh, wonderful.
They were so happy. Jai Bangla, Jai Bharat, India, whatever they used to call us. They were so happy to see us because all the atrocities were being committed by the West Pakistan soldiers, and they used to grab everything whatever the Bangladeshis had. यहाँ पे हमारे लिए वो अंडे भी लेके आते थे, खाना भी लेके आते थे to give us food, and we were paying them money.
Wonderful.
They were surprised कि हम लोग पैसे दे रहे हैं उनको.
Absolutely. So working for them, fighting for them, and you are still paying them.
Because we didn't want anything free.
Rarest of the rare. Sort of
absolutely. And they were so amazed कि हम लोग उनको पैसे दे रहे हैं, हम उनको इतने प्यार से बातें कर रहे हैं, and we were so grateful to them for whatever they were doing, and they were grateful to us. And even little children were carrying stuff for us, for the army.
Hmm.
Wherever we landed, loads of people would turn up.
The emotion, highest level of emotions for you.
And of course, Bengalis were wonderful people, absolutely wonderful people. And for a whole year they have been suppressed. Actually, from 1947 they had been suppressed.
Absolutely, post independence, till 71, where it peaked, the atrocities peaked.
Bilkul,
and there's so much of atrocities where the figures from about 2 lakhs to some 2 million affected Bangladeshis. Different agencies have quoted different figures. But the very fact the figures are so large, it speaks about...
and sad thing is, people like America still helping Pakistanis.
I'm coming to that. Now with the recent, with all this thing post 71, 16 December 71, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman taking over as the Bangbandhu Mujibur Rahman becoming the president of Bangladesh. And thereafter, the leadership with off and on between the two premier parties of Bangladesh, Awami League and BNP. Of course, it was hot and cold relation with India. But for last about a decade plus, when Mrs. Sheikh Hasina was the Prime Minister, I think we have had the best of the relations with Bangladesh in terms of economy, in terms of person-to-person contact, in terms of travel between the two countries and the connectivity. A whole lot of projects
like normal friends, neighbors, like living comfortably.
The way true neighbors should live like. It was the best example as a neighborhood policy. But unfortunately, in last about month or so, that we have seen that drastic change where Sheikh Hasina had to leave the country under circumstances which was not very healthy for the nation or the party. Now you seeing the kind of news which is coming up that all those banned organizations for about a decade or so, they were immediately released. That ban was lifted. All those terrorist elements who were in the jails, they were all freed. And now this kind of, we are hearing that even Bangladeshi currencies, Mujibur Rahman picture is being removed. The statues were as it is torn apart earlier. So with these kind of things, there is a lot of very sad feeling.
It is very sad what is going on. Not
only for us relation, but even for Bangladesh itself.
Exactly. I would like to hear I think one of the big mistakes Bharat did, and I think Bangladesh government at that time did, in 19...
Your thoughts on that, because you have seen both sides of the...
In 1971, they should have made it compulsory for everybody to learn what our armed forces did.
Absolutely.
Army, Navy, Air Force of Bharat, हमने क्या किया, Bharat government ने क्या किया.
The price of their independence. They should have
how they became independent.
Absolutely.
You see, now they are saying Pakistan हमारा friend है.
Absolutely. Imagine how shocking
and India उनका दुश्मन है.
Absolutely.
We created Bangladesh और हमको दुश्मन बना रहे हैं. Because they have not been told how they came into being.
So there are very important lessons that one need to learn during with the operations, as it is, which we know. But the impact of few things of that lesson that you are now bringing out, which probably the Bangladeshi government could have done. By making,
and even now, if we get a friendly government there, we should encourage them to tell what role Indian armed forces and Indian government played.
That is the importance of history. If you don't give them the right lessons, how will the coming generation would know the value of what they did, their fathers did in the past?
Very, very important.
Absolutely.
Because the present generation was not even there in 1971.
Absolutely.
So they have no idea what Indians did.
True.
And how many of us laid down our lives for them?
Yes.
And created
the official figure is almost 3,000 Indian troops were killed.
Correct, exactly.
And almost about 10,000 injured.
And we didn't even keep 1 square inch of East Pakistan for us. Not even 1 square inch.
And in today's times, you see Russia-Ukraine war, where so much of territory has been taken over by Russian. Israelis in the...
Everybody does that. Yes. See, if India is the only generous country which gives everything back. I don't know why. Why we do it, especially against West Pakistan.
If you see from military perspective, and it's not a very
especially West Pakistan, anything we capture, we should keep it.
Correct. Like we let our POK not been taken back.
Absolutely. We should have ensured they had kept that country for us.
And even in the Bangladesh side, the different pockets geographically,
especially in the top where the chicken neck is there, we should have exchange some land.
There could have been some kind of adjustment here and there. Like we have adjusted about 450 pockets
Yeah.
within Bangladesh and India, which
Bilkul.
was by recently.
Yeah, we should have done that for the chicken neck as well.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
made that bigger
Could
area
have made our
Yeah.
transportation much easier
much easier.
and connectivity to northeast.
Yeah, which is very sad. I don't know why they didn't think of that at that time, because I'm not a politician, so I have no idea. But
and, yes, sir.
it should have been. We have to think our country first, you know, and we have to make sure that the neighbors know what we are doing for them.
So I think, sir, by this aspect, we can very well understand that, and as a lesson, that in any political decision making, the strategic angle which armed forces can only bring in, that should not be weighed down.
Yeah.
It has to be given that due importance. They must be listened to.
Yeah.
What are the strategic implications which a military leader is trying to convey to the government? The government should be very receptive
Exactly.
to it. Should never undermine that.
Yeah.
And because it were undermined in the past, even that in JNK side where we that Haji Pir Pass,
Bilkul.
which was given back to them.
We should have never given it to them.
Again, POK, and right from the 48, we have been doing one mistake after another,
Yeah.
strategically, and which
Bilkul.
we are even regretting today.
Absolutely. Anything we take over, especially POK, which is part of us,
Yes, yes.
why give it back to them?
Absolutely.
You know?
No, that brings us to the very important lesson that in our political decision making, the strategic angle has to be given due weightage, and that is how a country can be safe and
especially
secure.
take advice of the Indian Army, Navy, and Air
Yes,
Force.
Yes, yes.
What is good for us? You know,
Correct.
we have to keep it for us.
Yes.
Don't give the advantage to the enemy.
Yes.
And they are an enemy. Pakistan is always an enemy. They don't
Yes.
want to be friends with us.
That's how they have evolved over the years, sir.
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
anti-India feeling is their survival basis.
Correct.
So with that kind of
Illogically,
mindset, yes.
illogical. India has got no interest in Pakistan.
Absolutely.
They can do what they like.
We have never been the aggressor anywhere
Bilkul.
in the history.
Every war they've started.
Yes, yes. So, with that kind of a background, sir, and now today being such a day that we're very lucky to have you here, and we could discuss about 71 operations, and on the Vijay Diwas day itself is a great feeling, sir. And for our coming generation, civilian as well as the military, I think your words will prove to be a template. And with those words, I thank you very much
No,
for
my
coming over
pleasure.
to us. And
Thank
ICPRD
you.
is
Thank you for
thankful
inviting
for
me.
you having you here, and I wish you good health and
Thank you.
happiness. And when
Thank
you
you.
get back to Scotland, whenever you come back again to India, sir, we would like to take it further.
Yeah, yeah.
And hear from you, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
so much.